Hello.
One.
Welcome to Your Aunties Could Never. I'm Aunty AK. And I'm here with...
Oh my God.
Is that how we're starting?
Okay, hello. Welcome to Your Aunties Could Never. I'm Aunty AK and I'm here with...
Aunty FARRAH.
Aunty NANA.
Aunty SADE.
And...
Uncle
I was about to say auntie something, by the way. I just went with the flow, like Aaron.
Uncle
Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron.
Uncle Aaron.
We've already had
I feel like I'm like nephew Aaron, though.
How old are you, Uncle?
I'm just saying.
How old are you?
I'm just saying.
You're trying to say you're
I feel like
You're probably
Uncle
gonna be
Aaron.
like
I don't really want to be
cousin.
cousin Aaron.
No, wait.
if
hold on,
anything,
hold on.
not-
Where are you? Are you
not nephew.
Are you 18 to 25, 25 to 35, 35 to plus 40?
Yeah.
Are you 35 plus?
Yeah.
You're an uncle.
I don't.
You're a whole
Why are you
uncle.
trying it?
Depends on
You're
which...
a full
You
uncle.
actually tried
This is how
it.
we're starting it.
Yes.
Yeah, this is how we started. You started it.
Aaron.
You came with violence.
Did you say Aaron?
Aaron. Key and Peele. We've already had a debate.
That wasn't even one of the names you asked me. Like, you was like, is it
Aaron
Aaron or
Aaron?
Aaron? And now it's Aaron.
Aaron. That's the Key and Peele.
So bloody
skit,
funny.
hilarious. But they got me because on the live show, I was calling interchange between Aaron and Aaron.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Did you call him Aaron once?
No.
I don't know.
So you did
Aaron.
it Aaron, and then
And I was right next to you as well. I didn't pick it
No,
up.
well, that's what I'm saying. They got me.
No,
Because I know an Aaron, that's why. And they made me feel like I was saying something so wrong.
that's not saying
I know
you.
it's Aaron.
We
No,
did
no,
not
no,
get
no.
you.
It's
No, we did not get you.
No, it wasn't. I
You
didn't do
said
it
it.
on
We just
purpose.
pointed it out.
We're not saying you did it on
Yeah.
purpose.
So I
Just let you know.
assumed it was Aaron because I had not really thought
Oh,
about
so you just
Aaron.
ignored us?
No,
No,
we
like
didn't have a
I
conversation
said,
at
she
the
thought that
beginning.
we were all wrong.
No, that's what
No, I didn't think you were wrong. I didn't know.
So you didn't realise we were saying something
Because we
different?
were all calling him Aaron.
No, I couldn't hear. I
Oh,
said
okay.
Aaron.
But we know
Even
now, right?
before,
But we know now your name's
know now.
Aaron.
What?
It's just,
Welcome to Your Auntie Could Never, episode 130. We are here with Aaron. Who's possibly our nephew, uncle, or cousin. Who knows?
He's definitely Uncle.
Uncle Aaron,
I
man.
don't know why he's trying
Uncle
it.
Aaron, yeah.
Seriously.
all right.
Yeah.
It's my birthday in December as well. So.
Oh, so you might be
Is that the
great
big
uncle.
4-0?
No. Not adding years. No.
What's
When's your birthday?
9th of December.
So you're a Sagittarius?
Yeah.
We'll get into that. Okay.
Will we? Okay.
I just want to, look, guys, roll with the flow. There's dramatic effect. We'll get into that.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
Everyone's supposed to go, yeah, that's what was supposed to happen. Okay. So where am I at now? Welcome to Your Aunties Could Never. This is a podcast for all wonderful aunties and uncles everywhere. Uncles everywhere.
Yeah.
I
guess so.
How are you, everybody? How is everybody?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Actually, I'm pretending to be awake right now. I'm actually incredibly tired. So tired. It's unbelievable. I've just been working my ass off and I need a break. So I think in 2.5 weeks, I can finally have a break.
That's your
so
break
I'm
time.
really, looking forward to that. But you know what? It's not in vain. My business is doing really, really well. We're doing great things. So yeah.
You are doing great things.
Great things.
you.
How are you, Auntie FARRAH?
I'm good, man. This is my final week at my current job. Yes.
Yay! We're all
No,
excited.
once again, I'm on the
I
move.
thought you was going to say final week on the podcast then.
Oh,
No, because the way this is my final week, I was like...
I wouldn't be that excited.
That's
As much as I hate them, I love them too.
Yeah,
that would be
no.
sad.
Auntie Nana, how are you? Let's-
I feel like there has to be a Beyonce of the group though, by the way.
Yeah, I
I feel
am.
like there's someone that is going
Oh, Nana is...
and
I think
Amari
you
and
know who that
Beyonce.
is.
Oh, the one that's going to
The
leave
one that
first.
wants to drop their own album. Like, anyone
The one
got
that wants to drop
the
their
one that
own
wants to
album.
drop their own album, innit? Like,
I was too fast. I didn't know where he was going with this Beyonce.
Auntie Nana, how are you?
Then in a positive.
Auntie Nana, how are you?
I'm good. I'm
Thank
good.
you.
Yes,
That's it.
it's my
Let's
son's birthday today. So
Happy
birthday.
Which one?
Podcast.
second one, Akaija.
Ah,
what are you
Scorpio
doing today?
season
Yeah,
in
it's work,
effect.
innit?
Yeah, but what are you doing today with him?
We're having people over.
Okay, cool.
You all
No,
are
it's,
invited.
no.
Come round.
See, people of the pod.
I've got all my family coming around later.
Hold on, that's oh my god,
can't
that's two
even,
family
but yeah.
events that we're not invited to.
Which one? What do you mean?
There's a
two?
birthday party, and
Yeah.
Auntie FARRAH just said she's got people coming over. I wasn't alerted to any of that.
I'm not related to half the things you do, bruv.
Not family wise.
Bro.
Not family wise.
I'm gonna sit this one
I'm
out.
extending the invitation. I'm like, the house
Not
is open.
family
You can
wise.
come
I'm
round.
gonna sit this
Please
one
Come
out.
round.
No.
Thanks for the invite, guys. I
No.
appreciate it.
I'm making
Unfortunately, I can't make it.
That's how it should be responded. You
Yeah.
even said that.
Serious.
If people are coming to my house, of course I'm going to feed them.
But you never told me people are coming to your house.
I'm telling you now.
That's disgusting.
jeez.
I can't even say the word.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. Who are we welcoming to the family? Well, I'm welcoming.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm welcoming Femi and Nikki, Femi Oniran and Nikki Slimting Walker, just because they've been doing big bits for the culture. They got lots of films under their wing. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. They got a film franchise called The Intent. They've also got a basketball shit going on. There's a game today that I'm missing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the London Lions. They've got an investment.
Oh, is that today?
Yeah, it's today.
Oh.
And they brought Dame Dash over the other day, which I was invited to a very, very interesting dinner with Dame Dash, which was hilarious. But it's just that they're really moving things for the culture. They're doing big things. They've done a wonderful documentary about Black British music, which was amazing. I think it's one of the first and only documentaries that documenting the progression of the evolution of Black British music. So you should check that out. It's really good. And just really rate them.
What's that on?
Oh God, I didn't want you to test me because I totally forgot. As I was saying, we'll come back to that. We'll put it in.
It's on My 5.
It's on My 5. That's
yeah.
it. Some slightly.
It's currently online on the player at the moment.
Okay.
Thank you,
really
guys,
good.
for backing me.
Excellent.
Thank you, because my brain went blank.
No worries.
But yeah, they're very supportive guys. Like definitely in my times of need, when it comes to business advice and support, they've been there. So I want to big up Femi and Nikki.
And Femi's been on the pod as well.
And Femi's been on the pod, so we need to get Nikki.
Femi was on the pod.
Yeah. I thought you watched our show.
Oh, yeah,
No.
Why don't you know episode?
Why don't you know?
Wait, Femi was in Kidulthood, right?
Yes, yeah, that's where he started out.
That's where he started off. Yeah.
And now he's turning into director.
Watch the episode, it's very good.
It's a good one.
Informative too.
It
Very
is.
informative. Yeah.
Okay. I will too.
Okay, moving on. So now he's going to get into the news and culture
Are
of...
we?
Are we not?
Don't we have a game?
Oh, yeah, we have.
Okay.
I tried to off my head.
Game.
Do your game.
Okay.
I'm hoping this is the R&B game because I do watch
It
the show.
actually is, but it's
See?
not necessarily only R&B
try and
related.
get
You
your
done
points.
terrible, by the way.
Wow.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Aaron's coming
I'm just
with
saying.
smoke.
Proper.
Like I don't watch the show.
Aaron.
You did struggle though. I can't remember the question though, but you did struggle.
It was 50 Cent.
Yeah, it was. It was the baitest one.
Okay,
Who's
so
going with facts?
I'm going to switch it up a little bit, right? Because I've got very many questions
Yes,
today.
Bob.
I'm going to switch it up a little bit.
I'm dying.
I want you
Yeah.
to put your hand up or
Come
or just
on.
buzz in.
It's never fair.
No. Let her finish.
say
Let her
buzz.
land. Let her
I want you
land.
to say
Why is it not
buzz.
fair to
Oh, we
buzz?
say
When you know
buzz.
the-
Okay.
Because
say-
people
say
just
buzz.
lie and cheat.
We've got Sheila in the room, so Sheila can be the
Adjudicator.
adjudicator. There you go. Right?
That disapproval
Because I might
face.
not see it and I might need to rewind the tape. So fair enough. Okay.
Okay,
So,
fair enough.
Right? You say buzz when you know the answer.
What did you say?
Buzz.
No, do it again.
Buzz.
It's a bit high
My voice
pitched.
doesn't
Why am I
go that
invited to
that tone.
Oh my
though.
gosh. Move on.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, okay.
I
Alright,
can't
ready?
get
Yeah.
that note.
Buzz.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Do it
Wait
again.
for what? If you
Right.
know the answer,
If you
right?
know the answer,
Right.
say buzz.
Buzz.
Ready?
So
Okay.
hard.
Let's just do this, man.
Oh, man,
let's try,
competitive.
let's try.
Which
Anyone else sweating?
magazine did Biggie read?
What?
Buzz magazine.
Word up. I know
Buzz
that.
magazine.
I know.
Word up.
Sorry.
She won't know the answer.
No, but I said it
I
first.
said
though.
it.
But I said buzz.
No, you
said
didn't.
buzz
I literally
I said buzz.
But I said word up.
You said it
was
first,
Auntie
me.
Nana because that's both of us.
But she didn't know the answer. We will give her the answer. She
Word
never
up.
knew. She never knew.
Yeah, but that's
never knew.
don't say the answers until it comes to you.
I get a
don't
point
like
for
this.
saying
All
that.
right, you do not.
I don't like it.
All right, next question.
Is anyone else sweating? I'm ready now.
What did Destiny's Child want you to pay?
Buzz bills.
Buzz.
I said it first. Don't try it.
I said
I said buzz
Auntie
first.
Sade.
Thank
I
you.
gave the
Bills.
answer.
Can you pay my auto bills? Can you pay my telephone
Well,
bills?
bills.
Then
Isn't
maybe
it
we can
then
chill.
Automobiles, no?
Yeah. I said, can you pay my bills? Can you pay my automobiles?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so
she
don't
did.
try it.
Don't try it.
Thank
She
you.
did.
But I got a point.
Point
No,
is,
you didn't.
I said bills.
That's the thing you need to say
know
is
what I said? I think
buzz.
No, but I'm doing the same.
No.
I'm shouting out the answer.
No, you shout.
you're not paying attention.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
next question.
All right. We've got to pay attention.
Okay.
What did TLC?
Buzz.
Go on, then.
Go on.
Scrub.
What's the answer?
Go on,
Oh
sis.
my god!
Oh my God! What's wrong with you? No, she is a class
Excuse me,
A.
excuse me,
Class
excuse
A
me.
attention seeker.
Aaron,
Scrubs.
I swear to
Thank
God.
you very much. That's why you've got nil points. Yeah. That's
So why are you
why.
always talking?
That's why you've got nil
I
points.
gave you the answer.
No, you didn't. I got it from
Last
Friday.
Last
Word up.
question, and because Aquia is out of it because she's cheating and doing nonsense.
not even
This is a
cheating.
tiebreaker question.
Tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Aaron, Auntie Sade, and Auntie
And
Nana.
AA
You're
one.
out.
Okay.
Okay. Tiebreaker question.
Okay, cool.
Sierra said you might look at her and think that she's a what?
Boy.
Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you?
No, next question. No, we're doing that again.
That's not even the right answer.
Spanner in the works.
Wait.
Auntie.
No, if you shout buzz and you've got like 5 seconds surely to answer.
But she is on.
Auntie Nana, if you don't get it in 1,
She doesn't know the answer.
2, 3, 4, 5. Aaron.
No, I didn't say I knew the answer. I didn't say I knew. I didn't say I knew.
Alright, I'm going to repeat the question.
That wasn't fair because she is
Because you want to listen to my answers. You want to
Sierra
cheat.
said,
So wait, it's just me now, innit? I can win this.
No,
Auntie
me
Sade.
and you.
You might
I'm the
look
winner.
at her and think that she's just a what?
Freak. I'm sorry.
I need another question, babe. This ain't cutting it.
Alright, shall I do a little bit of a... You might look at her and think that she's just
That did not help anyone. That did not help
have another
anyone.
question because AK keeps on ruining it.
Okay, I'm going to
I need one more question. Okay.
Wait, can you tell us the answer?
What's the
What's the
answer?
answer?
Young girl.
I was going to say
Just a
girl.
young girl.
I was going to say girl.
man.
But I was...
Jeez, man. Alright.
Goodies, innit?
I was,
That's it.
yeah, goodies. But a better question though.
Oh my gosh.
sorry.
Alright, hold on. You don't put me on the spot now.
Games Master should be ready.
That was.
Right.
And if you shut your face, I would have been.
Why am I not here to
You
dinner?
can't sabotage this.
No, you can't.
Because I'm not giving you this.
No, you said
You're
no,
going
laugh
to
is
sabotage.
saying
Do
I'm
the right
gonna
answers.
sabotage.
It's not okay.
You want to. You can feel it in your
Now-
sabotage.
This is a hard
You
one
can feel
because
it in
this
your
is gonna be
belly
one
in
of
it.
the
You can't, no, I'm not saying it.
Oh, no, you can't do that.
Sugar plum fairy.
Do you want me to help you?
No, I do
No.
not. Because you've effed it up.
Can I give a question?
I won.
Oh my god.
And then
Come on, we
win.
have to wrap. Look,
Okay,
our producer is telling us to speed on.
Because I only had 4 questions, right?
mean,
Jesus
I'm happy
Christ.
for it to be a
Games Master
draw.
should always be
Right.
prepared.
Alright, yeah, let's make it a draw.
I'm happy for it to be a draw.
No,
Someone has
Saturday
to
needs to
win.
win.
I'm happy.
Someone needs to win.
I don't mind it being a draw.
It's a draw. It's a draw. Because
Thank you.
I was trying to think of a
old
question.
questions. No, that's it. It's a
I
draw.
hate that kind of
because you
life,
fucked it up.
man.
I
Everyone
did not
gets
fuck it
trophies.
up.
Yeah, you
I
messed up
didn't.
for everyone.
Everyone
You
gets
lot should have
trophies.
just played properly. Now it's time for now it's time for what have you heard? News and cultures. We get into the news and culture things of the street. Whatever. Auntie Sade, what have you heard?
Oh,
You
what?
welcome someone to the family.
I've done that already.
Oh, yeah, we've done that.
I just did it the other way round. Yeah, I did it the wrong way round. Sorry, my bad.
Okay, so my
Sorry, well, I'm not coming to
story,
dinner.
because I'm so
I'm busy.
prepared,
No.
is about. Oh yes, my story is about a woman. So basically, a woman went to DR. Her friend was on social media and was talking about her friend who went to DR, got a BBL, and then came home and was sick. And then basically went to the doctors and stuff. They done an X-ray and apparently they'd taken a kidney from her in the process. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Have you guys not heard this? Oh gosh, I'm having shock phases. Yeah. So her friend was on social media talking about this, and my question about this
They do
is
have
like,
Bondo.
It's not interesting for that behaviour.
You know what? That's made it a bit more understand. I didn't know. You said BBL and I just went with it.
yeah.
And then I figured it out. Okay,
Okay.
Brazilian butt lift.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For the male listeners.
For the male
Yeah.
listeners.
Don't
They know
worry.
what
I'm just
a
saying, I was a
BBL
bit
is.
thrown.
They
I
know
was
what
a
the
bit
BBL
thrown.
Man, don't
is.
know what a BBL
They know
is,
what
man.
that is.
Come on now.
That's what
You
they're.
gotta be paying for that shit.
Yeah. For multiple women.
Get me.
So they took her kidney.
So they took her kidney.
Like, someone had a kidney. Yeah, she felt
Yeah.
Did she survive?
Yeah. But she's ill. She's very ill. She's
Because
probably going to
she's,
have
like,
complications maybe for
Is there
the rest of
anything
her
that
life.
she can do?
What's
Like,
your question?
So my question is, how can we stop these types of things from happening without shaming the women that want to change their bodies in this way? Because I feel like the conversation always goes to, like, you know, but why does she want to look like that? Social media is killing our people, all that kind of stuff. But actually, like, this is a crime.
is she an American woman? Or
She's an
English
American,
woman? Okay.
American
And then went
woman.
to
And went to
Dominican
DR.
Republic to
Yeah.
Kidney.
Okay. I think,
Took her kidney.
like you said, it's not about shaming the people that want to change themselves, because if you get to that stage and you want to do that, that's on you and it's your body. You can change it if that's how you feel. I think what has to happen is, like, the medical associations in whichever country that you are have to get better at understanding that these operations are going to take place and how can they make themselves safe within their own countries. That's what I think needs to happen.
I think that also needs to be better research on the person getting the surgery, because I was reading the article, it said that she thought she was getting a deal. Now there's some things that you can want to get a deal on, like jeans and maybe 2-for-1 food and stuff like that, but not on something of a procedure for your body. You, unfortunately, it's something that you're going to have to really do the research and think about the fact that it's going to cost money. I wouldn't be trying to look for a deal or something that's ridiculously cheap for something where it's going to be in operation, and especially in, I don't want to be disparaging, or because it's not about the Dominican Republic per se, but it's about countries where, not even countries, people, let me say the people who, someone's like, I've got an Instagram page, I do this procedure, and they've got no medical records, documentation, no proof of anything, and it just seems to be a bit of a roughshod, makeshift China thing offer. Just, you shouldn't go for it, because I have heard lots of conversations about girls, I heard someone went and they went and my friend recommended, and it's all that type of stuff. You need to do your proper research, and if it's really too good to be true, then it more than likely it is too good to be true. Because I think people even go through the procedure, notes, they arrive at the place, it looks funny, doesn't look right, but they still go through it because that sense of I'm here.
That pressure at that point.
There are lots of people that do the opposite. There are people that actually have like it's not a broker. That's not the right word I'm looking for. But there's like a medical professional. Well, this is what happens when people go to Turkey anyway, right? Yeah. There's a medical professional that represents them, and they book their flights, they book their whole experience, they book their operation, they do all of that work for them, right? And then problems can still happen. So that's why I reckon, like, I totally understand what you're saying, and people should do their research. But there are people that are doing their research, and they're still being, killed.
I'm basing on just because she said that she was getting a deal, and I think, it seems like the story that's been put out that it was more of like,
but deal could be deal could be in comparison to what you would pay at home, and that's what
it's always going to be cheaper. That's why people go there, but. I don't know if too many people know that a BBL actually has the highest death rate than any other surgery. And it's a body standard for now, which is changing. So if you have this morphing done to you, and then after a while it's like that kind of small waist, big bum hips isn't in anymore, but you're stuck with that in your 60s, like, and it doesn't, and you have to maintain it. Any type of surgery that is cosmetic, it only lasts for a certain amount of time before you need to go and do it again.
It's like a boob job.
It's like it doesn't really make sense that girls are really throwing their lives away for a surgery. I get the whole shaming thing, but I actually do think we have to speak up about following fashion when it's not just putting eyelashes on. Like, this is a surgery that you're going for in another country, and you're under. So of course they can take things. Maybe there needs to be, as a solution, surgery doulas that go with you. So somebody else is actually in the space with you when you're having your surgery done, and you pay for that person to be there. So they can't just go in and take a kidney. They could have taken anything from her and just been like, she died.
Market of that stuff as well. So everyone's trying to make money. But I'm... Go on, Aaron.
No, I just feel like you've got to think about the why as well. Like, why are you doing this in the first place? Like, is it an insecurity? Is it really going to fix any issue that you do have, if that makes sense? Because some people have mad insecurities and they think, what, if I just do this, it will make me feel better. And you go and get it done and you still got the same issue.
Exactly.
But me personally, I don't even use Groupon. So if we're talking about deals, like, there's certain things I see on Groupon and I'm like, no, you know what? It seems too good to be true.
It's all about Groupon.
It seems too good to be true.
Does Groupon still exist?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, I'd rather just pay full price. Like, I just feel more confident when it comes to certain things. Like, you know what? Certain places don't do offers.
Yes.
And I feel like they're more, I don't know, it's like certain brands. You can't get certain brands on discount because of the quality that they have. Like,
precisely that.
So if certain brands are like, right, it used to be 10 grand, it's now £500, I'd question that straight away.
It's not always about, I think I hear what you're saying, it's like, it's not always about the deal, because sometimes the deal, it works and it works out, but it is about your health. Like, you can't play cheat with your health.
I do think, though, there are some things, although I wouldn't watch it, but I think like things like live streaming operations or having ability for people to watch do you know what I mean? So that, because I do think, although this is like conspiracy, but this organ harvesting thing,
it's real though.
It seems to be more frequent stories that we're hearing about it, kind of thing. So I think there needs to be a way that the whole processes are really super transparent, so people aren't, because at the end of the day, yes, of course there's root causes and, you know, insecurities and all that kind of stuff, but people are still going to make these choices and still going to have these procedures. So what I'm talking about is, what about them? Do you know what I mean? They still have the right, to be protected, they have the right for their, you know, to have their surgeries in a respectful way kind of thing, and not botched at the end of the day. So I think they just also need to be protected.
So the just very quickly, there's the British Association of Plastic Surgeons. They actually said to their members that they don't want anyone to carry out these procedures because they're very dangerous. But what happened is that had the opposite effect, and it just word went out that you can't get this treatment in the UK, which wasn't necessarily true. And then that drove a lot of people to go to Turkey and have these procedures done. So what they're actually looking at now is safe ways of practicing it. And I think that's what needs to happen, because people are going to get surgery done. There was a time when people were having the wrong type of boob implant, and then they had to change them. So, you know, things change. People have to move with the new findings in treatments, and because everyone's going to get what they want to get done. It just needs to be done safely.
Aunty FARRAH, what have you heard?
What have I heard? Let's see. Because I'm so prepared. I was prepared, and then I started talking about boob implants. And here we are. So my story is about the fucking shit show that is the Tory fucking party.
Oh, wow.
Yeah?
Oh.
No, it really is, because Liz Truss became she is historical for many reasons, right? She's historical because she's the third female Prime Minister, but now she will forever be the shortest serving Prime Minister in history. Right. The last Prime Minister that served the shortest amount of time served for 118 days, and that was in 1847, and he died. Right? So she served even less time than him.
Wait, he died whilst
in office. That's why it was so short, because he died. Okay,
fair enough.
Right, she died a different type of death. But anyway, so we've got her leaving. We've got the Tory Party all up in arms, deciding which bastard is going to be the next Prime Minister without an election. And funnily enough, Boris is now in the running,
like
and
Boris.
I just feel like man like Boris. My questions to you are: do the Tories have amnesia? Like, have they forgotten what happened? Like 2 months. It was 2 months ago that Boris had the highest amount of resignations of any Prime Minister ever in the space of a very short time. That was Boris 2 months ago. The reason why Boris had to leave is because he committed all these fucking crimes. Have they forgotten that, right? And also, do you think that we should be calling on the rest of the Western world to give us some help to end this regime? Because if this was another country, do you not think that we'd be getting bombed right now?
They'll be invaded.
They'd be invading us. It would be help Great Britain. There'll be flags everywhere.
There'll be ads.
There'll be appeals.
Donations.
There'll be people. There'll be celebrities in other countries appealing for our freedom. So what the fuck?
Oh, well, Liz Truss, she basically lied on her CV, isn't it? she lied in our faces. She really did. And then she got hot and she was like, look, guys, I can't do this. Before she started to fire people. And then she was like, actually, no, I need to fire myself. Basically.
Take my 115k a year and bus.
I just think exactly. She's set for life now, isn't she? Nice. I just think that I kind of feel like it's a bit gimmicky. I think it's what's his name? Rishi. Yeah, he's probably Rishi. He's probably gonna. And he was supposed to anyway. Do you know what I mean? I think that was supposed to happen anyway.
He got beat by Truss last time.
But
now
they can say, look, you didn't have a brown man in power. This is like you had this woman, this white woman, and now look what's happened.
Which actually is really damning for women.
It is. So
you know what I mean? Like, she's set us back a couple hundred steps.
Absolutely.
Well, I think women in general, do you know what I mean? The women in leadership positions, being able to handle pressurized situations. I just don't think she's done a good job for like female leaders, like full stop. I don't think race necessarily comes into it, but like I think it will just be a hard time for, you know, do you know what I mean? If I think you will hear people calling other women, she's just a Liz Truss.
Yes.
Like I think you're gonna start hearing that. Do you know what I mean? I think it's I don't
think she was around long enough to even have her name in our vernacular for very long. I think she's going to be off soon. We're not going to
We'll
remember
see.
her. 6 weeks is not long enough.
I think it's made it harder for
while.
another woman to take that position. Though.
I don't think so.
Penny's thrown her
Penny
hat
more
in
done,
the
isn't
ring.
it? That's what to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's got the least amount of
Again.
support. Do you know what I mean? I just don't. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think the Tories have amnesia. I think they're just all playing games. They know they know what they're doing. They're just trying it. They have no respect for democracy or what's supposed democracy. They don't care. It's with an old boys club. They're all just messing about. And let's get Boris in for bants. It's just anything to also not have a brown man running the UK. It's facts. Because did you not see? Was it LBC the caller that called up and said, "Well, Rishi's not British and he doesn't like Britain, and Boris is more British," or something like that, basically saying that Boris is the right representative for Britain, basically because he's white. She said the caller said everything but Boris is white and Rishi's Asian, and that's the problem. These times now, Boris was born in New York and Rishi was born in the UK, so that on facts alone, Boris is an immigrant.
And his family is German.
And his family's in German. But yet this caller's adamant that Boris is the right person. When you hear people saying, even your homegirl, Priti Patel, she's backing Boris. Kemi Badenoch is on the other side. She's backing Rishi and everyone's calling her a turncoat. But even Kemi thinks she's going to try and throw a hat or something.
Kemi didn't. She didn't throw a hat in the end. But she wants a cabinet place.
That's what she's waiting for.
Yeah, she's waiting for a position. Can't stand it all. It's all just puppetry.
So Boris over Rishi, you'd prefer Rishi Sunak?
I don't care. All of them are shit.
I prefer Boris personally.
Why? What's to prefer? None of them have anything to offer.
It's the lesser of two evils you're thinking, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
With Boris is
and the devil you know.
But the devil you know is still a devil.
It's terrible.
And
he was voted out by his own people.
Yeah.
So why would you want that?
Now they want him back.
You don't have to have a preference. Literally, it's okay to not have a preference.
No.
It's actually
out of the two of them. I mean, it's not like I have a vote. I'm not a Conservative and I'm not an MP.
Well,
but I would say between the two of them, it would be Boris over Rishi. Because I actually think if Rishi goes nuts on the country, I think for my fellow brown people, it's not going to be good for anybody that is an ethnic minority if he comes in and ruins the country further. So I'd prefer Boris does it. And I like my racism served
in your face.
And in your face, and you know where it comes from.
Rishi's miles ahead, though.
He is.
Rishi's miles ahead. Boris, I think, has like 40 votes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now he's been backed by over 100.
They're saying 100, but
you need 100 in order to go to the next round.
They were saying that, but then the research in the papers are saying, well, we've been trying to find those 100 supporters that they're talking about. They're not speaking up.
Yeah, but that's just a discredit as well.
Smoke and mirrors.
Don't you? Go on.
I can't see Boris getting. I just can't.
Oh, you don't think he's coming back?
And why would you want? Like, you didn't. It's not like, I don't know, when Henri left Arsenal. Yeah, Henri left Arsenal. Yeah, and then when everyone was like, "Oh, Henri's coming back," everyone was like, "Oh my god, I can't wait."
Ronaldo, Man United.
Yeah, but it's like, you know what? The legacy. You left a legacy. Like,
yeah.
You want people like that to come back. Boris, like, we just got rid of you. We just got rid of you, and now we're going to welcome you back. I feel like a general election should happen, but that's not meant to happen until what, 2024?
25.
Right now,
25.
They have up until 2025.
They can call it any time.
They can call it
any time.
But legislation-wise, they have up until 2025, so they could play us like this for a while.
Or a man like KC can step in.
Who's KC?
King Charles.
Oh wow!
Man like
KC
he can call for an election.
Okay, cool.
He can say that he needs an election.
He can.
I thought you were saying like King Charles is going to rule the country.
I was like, he could say, look, run all this.
We have to have a general election.
And you know what? That would be a good one of your first moves. Yeah,
that would be a good move for King Charles.
I actually think King Charles should do it.
It would be a good move for him.
He should stamp his authority and be like, enough of this.
Yeah,
let's have a general. Yes, let's have a general election.
But I think as well that is part of the reason why they want Boris back. Because if King Charles does call for the general election, they're thinking who is going to more be likely to win the general election out of the shit show that's left.
Yeah.
The people that are left. They're like, the English people are idiots, innit? A lot of them. They are though, man. A lot of them, the British people are idiots. So they will back Boris.
Or if it isn't Boris, let's say it is Rishi against Keir Starmer.
You notice in this conversation?
If it's Rishi against...
If it's Rishi against Keir Starmer,
notice in this conversation, no one is mentioning the Labour Party. You see what kind of nonsense we're in?
That's what I just mentioned. Keir Starmer against Rishi Sunak, who's going to win?
That's why I'm saying that they'll back Boris, because out of the two people,
they'll think
that
they're going to.
I don't think Boris can win another general election.
In my mind,
I think that he's got more chance than anybody else in their party.
I think that's but that would be their downfall, hopefully.
Because if you do have Rishi and then there is a general election, I think people would vote for Keir Starmer. I don't think they're actually going to vote for an Asian man.
I told you. We don't want Keir Starmer either, because he's a right-wing left man.
Yeah,
he's a bit of Blair.
It's the same.
Yeah,
it's the same.
I was fine with Blair. You know, I was alright.
Blair fooled us.
We were thriving. We had a war that was annoying, but with the youth clubs were open. So you know what I mean. But the youth clubs were open, and there was more funding for the arts.
Aunty AK, what have you heard? Speaking about the arts, I'm going to move into some culture news. NORE is on an apology tour, or has been on an apology tour, because he had an interview with Kanye West, and where Kanye West expressed more anti-Semitic views, anti-Black Lives Matter news and words and stuff like that. And then afterwards, Nori went on a few of the culture shows like Breakfast Club, Ebro in the Morning and other places to apologise for having Kanye on, and subsequently took down the interview, the Drink Champ interview. And I think it annoyed me, because I was like, you invited him on, you knew, and he expressed excitement because he knew it would do numbers and new bits, and then he went on an apology tour. And I feel like you knew what you were doing when you're getting him on. You can see what state Kanye's in, whether you think he's ill or not. He is.
Wait, what did he apologise for?
He apologised for having Kanye on.
Yeah.
Why?
Because Kanye made anti-Semitic comments.
No, wait. He didn't apologise.
No.
He didn't apologise for having him on. He apologised for what was said.
Yeah, but but that's in general, to me, that's apologising for having him on, because he took down the video and everything. It's in general, you apologise for speaking to Kanye.
But he didn't really apologise for the anti-Semitic or the anti-Black statements. He was apologising because he said that George Floyd died from fentanyl, and it wasn't the policeman. And that was the thing that sparked Nori going on this tour, because then it was leaked that they are going to be suing Kanye for the false information. So is that 250 million? And then that's when he said it on Breakfast Club. Because of this, because I've offended this family, because they're offended, this is why I'm on the apology tour. So he said it in the Breakfast Club.
Okay, so you're protecting yourself then, bro.
Basically. He said it. You can watch it. He said it.
No, I watched it.
But what did you receive?
My reception was, you're protecting yourself. You invited someone on, knowing what he's been on. That wasn't the first place Kanye had been expressing his views.
Yeah.
So why have him on? And now you're going to say, oh, my bad, to protect yourself. I don't appreciate that. I think it's an apology tour for having Kanye on to protect himself. Exactly that. I don't think whether it's about the anti-Semitic or if it's about George Floyd, the fact of the matter is, Kanye's been talking. He's done White Lives Matter. He's been aligning himself with Candace Owens. He's been saying things that are anti-Semitic in a broad stroke. And Nori knew this. He was excited to have him on.
Yeah, definitely.
And then he went on an apology tour. I don't think that's right.
I think Nori should be sued as well. I think
are they looking at suing him?
So far, it's just been filed against Kanye West.
Because you know what? Yeah.
What about Piers Morgan then?
Yes, everyone that's involved.
Everyone.
What's different?
Piers didn't show that. He didn't. Unless Kanye didn't say it on his show, but he doesn't mention George Floyd.
But this is what I was going to say.
He didn't mention George Floyd, but he did say that anti-Semitic.
Oh yeah,
and he doubled down.
Yeah. I don't know if the Association for Jewish People are gonna sue as well. I don't know.
Well,
they could.
Look what's happening to him now, and he's being dropped left, right, and centre.
But
if we're going, and it's because of the anti-Semitism.
No, Vogue said both, and anti.
I think they're picking up on that.
They did say both.
Okay, but he's been saying things about black people a lot longer.
And
no one did shit.
Yeah,
everyone's covering their backs and trying to look like they're racist.
That's a story for another day.
No, you're right.
Don't want people to come.
You're right.
But my point is, in terms of Noriega, it wasn't a live show, was it?
No.
It was recorded.
Yeah.
So if you felt some type of way about what Kanye said, you could have edited that out.
Exactly.
You did not have to put it out. But because you felt like, this is going to be controversial.
And numbers,
that's why you put it out there.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree with you. Fuck him, innit? He should be sued.
Yeah.
He knew what he was doing.
To be fair to Nori, he said he doesn't watch his own interviews.
Someone does though.
No. So what I'm saying is,
and he
someone.
was in the room.
It's like we have this interview here, right?
Yeah.
Or this that someone's gonna then go through it with a fine tooth comb and say, you know what, actually, maybe
Slight
that
tooth
might,
comb.
yeah, maybe that might have offended someone.
You know them old school ones with one tooth, one prong.
But someone would have been responsible for reviewing that and saying, you know what, actually we need to take that out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. And also to me, that wasn't your first interview with Kanye West.
Exactly.
I think that was
That's
the
my
third
point. Why
interview
did he-
he's done.
Why did he
It was
do
a
it again?
three-part-
Because
yeah, exactly.
because like I don't know, maybe it was last year or something like that. I can't remember. When
Yeah,
It was about
Last
8 months
Last
ago.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even that long ago.
It wasn't that long. That's why when I heard he was on again, I was a bit surprised. But then I thought it's because of what's
It's
going
numbers.
on. It's numbers. But realistically, even if NORE isn't the one to sit down and edit it and say scratch that bit, he's in the room. If we're having a conversation amongst us now, yeah, I know if I say some outlandish shit that I'm not comfortable with, I'm gonna be like, can you cut that out, please?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Can you cut that out? That's what I'm gonna be like. So he knew.
And he's
But
like,
you've got to be mindful as well. It's called Drink Champs.
Yeah.
He did say I
He
was
did say that.
inebriated.
He said,
but
like,
he's
you know
not-
what, like,
He did say he was inebriated.
by the
But
time
he's-
that
but he's
certain
not-
things
but
started
he's-
happening.
He
Bladder.
doubled down on what do you call it? On Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan asked him, you know, about what
Kanye.
he said. Yeah, do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And then he said, yeah, I knew what I said.
Yeah, he
and
said,
he's
yeah.
like, you know that it's racist, and he's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
he said, yeah.
That's why I said it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
Kanye's
just,
on
do you know
something
what I mean?
else. I don't even know.
Either he's going through an episode. My thing is like, if this guy is genuinely going through an episode and he's not on his meds, then all of them should
Are
be
guilty.
Yeah, do you know what I
All
mean?
of
Like all of
them.
them should be punished in some sort of way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
need to make sure that anyone that's working for you, anyone that's you know, part of your production is mentally fit
Exactly.
and in their
Exactly.
right mind before they do an interview.
Listen,
Exactly.
that is
yeah.
their
And
responsibility.
that's my problem with this whole
Yeah.
shit as well. Like, regardless of what you think of the man, yeah, you're not protecting his mental health. You're
No.
not protecting the mental health of people that are watching as well.
Exactly.
You've got a responsibility. It's not fair. And I feel like if it was somebody else of another persuasion, a different, you know, ethnicity, they'd be dealing with it. They'd be handling it a lot differently.
I think that
when Britney Spears was going on her shit, people weren't dealing with her in the same way. I'm not saying she was saying stuff, but you could clearly see that she was going through mental health problems. And there've been other people, even when Pete, what's his name, the one that was dating,
Davison.
when Pete Davidson's going through certain stuff, that the management of of how they handle him is different. And I just feel like you've got a responsibility. If you know that someone's going through some shit, if you know that someone's taking, like a drug addict, for example, you're not going to have certain things in their dressing room. If you know someone's an alcoholic, you have a responsibility to not have anything like that around them.
Yeah.
So you know someone's got mental health issues. Why are you going to get them on your show and talk about things that are triggering?
Yeah. Yeah. And are dangerous to
Yes.
society.
Yeah,
Like,
I
actually,
think so.
Exactly.
everybody should be being punished for allowing him to spew this anyway.
Yeah.
Like when you go through the history of the persecution of Jewish people,
Yeah.
it is like it does start with seemingly celebrities, normal people being like, you guys own everything.
Yeah.
That's why they shut it down so quickly.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, you can't keep on pointing the finger at Kanye because he's on platforms that are allowing him to talk and spew it out there. It's everybody is
everyone's
complicit.
involved. It's not just
If it does
Kanye.
escalate to your persecution, who was the one stopping it from getting there?
Exactly.
They're all in peers.
Yeah.
Everybody is a part of it.
And that's another thing, because when Kanye's in the room with, or anyone who makes those comments, and they're in the room with people, because a lot of the, some of the black celebrities, they are in close friendships, because that's what Nori was saying. I've got Jewish friends, close Jewish friends. They're in the room, and he did say that. He said they're in the room and they weren't offended. And so there's a whole thing like the N word.
You
like
can't.
No, I'm
he
just.
can't speak
He
for
can't
them.
speak for. But that's
And
the point.
That's
That is
the
the point, innit?
Yeah, that's
the
part of
point.
his defense. Do you know what I mean? Because it would just be like, you know, a black person being in a room where something is being
Exactly.
said. and
Yeah.
they're like,
Precisely.
But
they
that's the
don't
point. So,
react,
but
so
that's just one point.
that's
It's
how they
just you've got
perceive
to not assume that everyone's okay with it, but also when you have people who are from the community that you're speaking about who are agreeing with you, it puts you in a precarious situation. So it is about addressing the platforms that allow it to go out.
Yeah.
Also,
Because,
as well,
I'm disagreeing with you.
It just doesn't help that we, you know, bipolar is such a complex condition. So you don't actually know what's an episode, what's normal, and because Kanye is such an outlandish character, and he has been for many years, do you know what I mean? Like you just don't know. So like having Charlemagne come out and saying what, you know, his conversation with Kanye about Pete Davidson and stuff, but him calling Kanye a master manipulator, then it kind of like, well, is he having an episode? Is this just part of the Kanye show? We don't know. Do you know what I mean? So that's like kind of confusing. So I do think, like, I don't know how you determine. I don't know if he, you know, whether he has to disclose, like, this is what's happening. Like, do you know what I mean? It's just
The
very,
thing is, you
very
hit the nail
difficult.
on the head, though, because I have a family member who is bipolar, but so I kind of recognise certain things that Kanye does, and it's like you said, because he has quite a strong personality anyway, and has been known before he was diagnosed to come out and say some outlandish shit. People are struggling with what is real and what is fake. Yeah. However, I personally, from my experience, I see that he's going through something. And I feel like it's dangerous for the people who are letting him go on these platforms to allow him to say these things, because there's a high and there's a low, right? And if he experiences the low, that point could be extremely dangerous for him and for people that are around him. Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like he needs help. At the moment, he seems like he's isolated all the time. Like, there's no one who's around him.
Yeah.
You don't see anyone around him at the moment, which is really strange.
Did you see that picture where he was in a restaurant somewhere and he was by himself eating, but eating quite manically? Yeah. So it does seem like he is in a manic episode
like
anyway.
And I also feel like it's not just bipolar as well.
Okay. I feel like other things, stress
but I feel like it's something as well. Bipolar, like another, I don't know if he's got like
schizophrenia,
slight, personality disorders in them. So I don't know.
Some
but
sort
I feel
of
like
psychosis.
Absolutely, I feel like it's not just bipolar, because when I look at him and the things that he says and his movements, it's two things to me. And I'm saying that because I've seen that myself.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think there's something in there, and it's quite dangerous. Like, we all could be witnessing his free fall into something happening to him, and then 100%. He's not here, and then we're going to be in retrospect being like, he shouldn't have been there, he shouldn't have been there, somebody should have taken him into hand, and all of that. And he said that himself, though.
And this is
one of the last Drink Champs, or one of his last interviews, he did say, I may not be here for too long.
I'm telling you.
And people need to listen to me, because when I'm not here, like, he had all of these prophecies that he was putting forward.
Yeah.
That could be a part of his plans.
Yeah.
And this could be his free. You can't really tell with Kanye, because there's so much. I think so. I think people should, and even if they think he's okay, they shouldn't allow it to go ahead.
Even Drink Champs, just back to that, giving the man alcohol.
It's not right.
I feel like from a man's perspective, though, like, I'd like to see the same men around him everywhere he goes. Just accountability and support. Like, you lost your mum.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever recovered from that.
Yeah.
Certain men would just lose their mum, and that would be enough to tip them over the edge.
Yeah.
This man has gone through so many things that you would look at and say, that one thing alone would be enough for me. And it's in the public eye, and I don't see a support network around him. Like you said, I see him solo a lot of the time. I know he's a bit of a handful.
No, but that's what I was going to get to. It is when you're around someone, because he did have people around him, but when you're around somebody who's going through episodes like that, it's very draining and it's very difficult, because you want them to get better, and you want them to take their meds, or you want them to go to therapy, or you want them to go and to
you
spend
want it more
some
than
time.
they do.
You want them to like get, maybe be sectioned every now and again. You want that for them so they can get better. But it's you're fighting a battle with them, and they're fighting a battle with themselves. It's fucking difficult, and it's sad to see. I just feel like it's the media that are continuously getting him on their shows, doing things. You're not helping, you're not helping the people that are watching that are going through shit too.
All right, Auntie Nana, what have you heard?
Okay, so my story is 50 Cent and his son have reappeared into the public gaze again. I mean, Marquise. Is it Marquise?
I think it is Marquise.
He has been out speaking about it for the last kind of month or so. 50 did a little skit where he was also trolling him. But on The Breakfast Club recently, again, with Charlemagne, he brought it up and said, Marquise has gone to TMZ and has said, I want to speak to my dad, but he hasn't responded. And 50 Cent said he has not contacted me, and he doesn't want to reconcile, because if he did, he could speak to me, and he hasn't, and he went to TMZ. And then he went on to say that his mum, he was paying her $500,000. She still wanted more. So he presented himself to child support. You look into my finances, how much should I give her? And they said 6,700 is what she should be getting. And that's what he gave until he was 18. He's like, that's what it is. What do you guys think? Is 50 out of order for his position on this?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay. So is it like the mum? All right, Aaron
like,
as
obviously,
the co-parenting
there's so many
expert.
layers to this, yeah. Like, obviously, this is my field, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, child support is a legal requirement that every parent has to contribute financially to the upbringing of your child, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we just look at that, child support. This is a 25-year-old boy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the UK, you can stop paying child support at the age of 20. Not a lot of people know this. They think it's 18. If your child decides to stay in full-time education until they're 20, you pay child support until they're 20.
Right.
Yeah. 50 is still paying $6,700 a month to a 25-year-old. You know, at some point, this child support is going to stop. Yeah. And you've been getting X amount. There should have been some sort of strategy in place that, you know what, let's be a bit more sensible with this $500,000 that we're getting at some point, and let's prepare for the future. If you've not done that, and then he said, you know what, I'm cutting this off, which I have a right to do now, you can't then come back to me kicking up fuss. And if we're talking about 25-year-old, he's getting $6,700 from his dad. What's his mum contributing?
That's my point.
Go on.
No, I just my thing is just 50's motivation. Basically, he's a petty, toxic guy, and he has made an example of this woman who he laid down with, who he had a child with. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's made an example over many years. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's just like, it's so, like, this is not reconcile. I don't think he can reconcile with his son in a way that's going to be tangible for a future relationship now. Do you know what I mean? It is so destroyed, and he's had the power and the chances and the time to resolve this out of the public eye, and he's positioned his son as an adult, as an equal adult almost at times. And it's just like, you can't almost blame the son for siding with his mother if that's who he's with. Do you know what I mean? Especially when your father is such a force in the world in general. I just think it's just such a unequal power dynamic that he's just basically villainize this woman. I'm not saying she's perfect. I'm not saying that at all. And, you know, people have children for celebrities for all types of reasons. But I just think that this could have been handled better, much, much better. And I think he's proven himself to be toxic and petty. So why wouldn't he be, again, toxic and petty in this situation?
You know what? I think we have to look at who we're, like, as all of us, we're a reflection of what we've been through, right? So even as parents, how kind of like lenient we are on our kids is kind of based on how we was kind of brought up. Like, you got to remember, 50 Cent never grew up with his father. He lost his mum at like the age of 8. He was shot 9 times. So his bottom line is going to be a lot kind of, he's going to take less bullshit than other parents would. That might be like, oh, you know what, but like just help him out here. Like, no one helped me out. Like, no one was there for me when I went through this, and this kid's getting 6,700. I just feel that, what is enough? Let me throw that at you, yeah? You're getting $500,000 a year, and you're telling me I need more, yeah? What is enough then? $1 million? $2 million? What would have been enough for her to say, you know what, all right, cool, we're cool there?
I couldn't agree with you more, and there's a few things with this. So 50 has admitted that he's made mistakes with his son. He's admitted that. And he has also said that he did try to reach out to his son on multiple occasions over multiple periods of time. He tried to reach out to his son, and his son didn't want to have anything. He did. You can look it up.
No, I'm not saying he didn't, but you know there's conditions with him.
His son didn't want to have anything to do with him. Now, I do agree with you in a sense of like 50 is the parent, and the son spent time with the mum, so there's going to be influence there. But however, like Aaron said, what is enough? Because if he was paying her $500,000 and they're living in a mansion and he's paying for schools and he's doing all these other things that he's doing, what is enough? Just because you have a child with someone who is a celebrity or someone who has more money than you, that does not give you the right to just sit on your ass and do nothing and expect the other person to provide for you for the rest of your life. Yeah, his song says, have a baby by me, be a millionaire. But don't take that like it's a song. It also says, do you think about me? He's got another song that says, do you think about me? You think about money when you think about me, huh? That's why my ex, you don't want to be her. Anyway, my point is that you can't just take. There has to be a part where He's giving you that. Your dad's paying that. What's your mum paying? Just because she's your mum, you can't expect her to do nothing and just like be like, well, your dad's going to cover that. I just feel like what was enough? Because he was doing all these things. What is enough? And to be 25 now, the boy's hurting, obviously, innit? Like, that's the real thing. He's hurting. He does want to see his dad. Otherwise, you wouldn't keep chatting. If you didn't care about your dad, you wouldn't keep chatting and saying these things. Like, you're saying that I'll pay you this much money to come and spend some time with me. You want to see your dad, innit? So there's a certain things that have to be worked out in private as well. Because running to TMZ is not the way.
Well, I do think, though, that is part of his conditioning because of the circus that 50's created. Do you know what I mean? Like, if he's vocal about things in the public eye, of course your son is going to respond in that way because that's all he knows, because that's sometimes the only way his dad will communicate with him, or at least he'll get a reaction. But I do think that although, you know, she was getting X amount, going to child support... he could have just said, no, I'm not giving you any more. He went to child support. That is a calculated, like, do you know what I mean? Like, thought out, petty response to that situation.
I would have, can I say something there? Can I say something? I would have done that
with normal jobs. Yeah, okay.
If I'm paying what I deem, if we have an agreement, and you're cool with that at some point, like, I don't know, let's just, for normal people's terms, let's say 800 a month. Yeah. And you're saying you're cool with that. And then at some point you say, no, I need more. And I'm like, why do you need more? And we're now clashing over this. All right, you know what? Now let's bring in child support and see what they have to say. Oh, they said 400. Okay, cool. 400 it is. Like, if you're pushing me to that, and I don't think a lot of men realize, if you genuinely feel like you are overpaying, because like we say, what is enough? What is deemed as appropriate, right? If you genuinely feel like I'm overpaying, you can take yourself to the child support service and they can calculate what you should be paying, and then you can make a decision whether you will give more over that.
Yeah.
Like,
50 doesn't have to do that. We know he doesn't have to do it. He's not an average man.
No, but he's not earning the average behind it is salary. Why he did it, and that I feel like a lot of men do that. And the other thing to bear in mind is as well, when it comes to child support, you pay child support, and then when your kid's with you, you still have to manage your kid and pay for your kid and have your kid set up in your house like they live there. You still have to do that. So it shouldn't just be a case of child support's looking at everything for the child. What about when they're with you? So it's just, I don't know. I don't know.
My only thing is that this is about 50 and his son, and most of this conversation has been about the child support. For me, what is 50, when 50 said that he doesn't want to, that his son shouldn't have taken the conversation to TMZ, the son also, Marquise has also said that I'm blocked everywhere. So I can't get access to him. So that's why this is the route that I have to take. So for me, I understand 50 came from Hard Knocks life. I know guys come from Hard Knocks, so you just view everybody as an op. So unless you act accordingly, they will treat you like an op, and that's it. So but 50 has handled his son like an op from a very young age. So this is where I cannot get behind him, because you've treated that, regardless of your upbringing, the shit that you've been through, we've all been through shit. And possibly the woman that you lay down with has also come from shit. So maybe her mentality is kind of, let's say, hood-ish, because 50's acting kind of hood still. So if that be the mentality, you're all playing this kind of mad game with each other. So the fallout shouldn't, the child, it's always about the child in my opinion. The son is reaching out. You don't need to make a fool out of him, as you've been doing for years and years and years.
I mean, it cuts both ways, though. Yeah, no?
I'm saying my. Let me finish what I'm saying. Yeah, no, but let me finish what I'm saying. So my point is, for years you've been treating your son as a fool, as an idiot. You've been treating him like an equal opponent in this game, in this battle. And you know that your son has been influenced by his mum, whether his mum's right or wrong. The child usually in the home, they're receiving all the negativity or positive, whatever it is. So that he's brainwashed potentially from that perspective. 50 is always, from what I see, because I don't engage with him very much, what I see, his output on this boy has been like any guy from young, before he became an adult. It's not just been since the guy turned 18 that 50's been treating him like this. He's been doing it from before that. So for me, your son's reaching out. It's not a joke. It's not a conversation. Go back to him and give him a real tea. He doesn't need to be in the public eye. This is your son, furthermore. I know we can't choose our family, but this is still someone that was brought on this earth, not by choice. You have a responsibility as a parent to do better, and 50 has not done better by his son.
I agree and I disagree as well, because as I said before, he did reach out to his son on multiple occasions and multiple times. He reached out to his son, and his son didn't want to know him. He stood in a shop with his son, and his son blanked him. So it cuts both ways.
Because the son is damaged.
And I said that, but I also.
But it's like, when no, it's not that. But it's like when should 50 then also be like, okay, I am stopping it here. Because he doesn't. But I think the point what he said to Charlemagne of like, you know, if you send somebody £1 million and they don't respect you, how much do you think you need to send to them before they do respect you? If he really believes his son has zero respect for him, when do you, just as a human, just be like, you know what, I don't actually need this person around.
And the other thing to bear in mind, just because you have a child, and that child grows up to be an adult, that doesn't mean that there's no guarantee that you're going to have a relationship with your child. There's no guarantee that your child is going to respect you. You could give a child all the love in the world, and your child could turn around and be a murderer, a rapist, and want to fucking kill you in your bed. There's no guarantee that you're going to have this perfect relationship with your child. At some point, there are children out there, who have grown up and they've disrespected their parents continuously. And at some point, and I'm not saying this is 50, but you can't just be like, you had a child, you have to keep respecting him.
It gets to a point where at some point 50 did help create what his son is,
and I agree.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And then, but where is the accountability for that? Where is the reconciliation for that? That is outside the public eye, outside him engaging in that way. This is what I'm saying. It's just like he should. No, he did.
Don't know.
Well, to be honest, I don't know if he tried hard enough, and I don't know whether the situation, whether that came with conditions, whether how he was treating the mother, how he was talking to her, because a child doesn't just naturally turn away from a parent like that, doesn't just naturally blank a parent like that, unless there are conditions, unless they've been through stuff, unless they witnessed stuff, unless they, do you know what I mean? There's always a reason.
We do talk sometimes about toxic women, right?
Yeah.
We do talk about,
I'm not saying that she's perfect at all.
We do talk about toxic women sometimes, and we do also say that there are women out there who, in the same way that there are men out there that can't separate, I'm not with the mother anymore, I'm not going to be there for the child. There are also women out there that are not with the father anymore, and they continuously spout negativity in front of their child.
But that's
parent
my whole
alienation. It's where you're inputting these thoughts into the child about the other parent. And if this is, in my eyes, I feel like there has been an element of that from the mum to the son about 50. And from 50's point of view, okay, I've made efforts. Okay, like we said with the money, like what is enough? Yeah. With effort, what is enough? Okay, if I'm making these efforts, but you've clearly been brainwashed to an extent by your mum, and now every time I try and make an effort, there's disrespect. I'm getting stressed out. This is coming on me a bit too much. And he says, I'm not doing this no more.
Can I just say, I think we know more about 50's character than we know about the mother's character. That's the thing. So we're making a lot of assumptions based on what 50 is saying and his opinion of her.
And what he's put out there.
I haven't heard his opinion about her personally.
What he's put out.
He portrays her as a money focused. Let me not say grabbing, money focused individual who was not satisfied with $500,000 a year. That's what he puts out there. Do you know what I mean? So that gives people connotations that she's a gold digger. That, do you know what I mean? That she has potentially turned her son, their son, away from him. Do you know what I mean? It gives all of those connotations. But I haven't heard anything.
And he spoke, and he is saying, I made these efforts, and it's fine, he can say that. But what, as Auntie Charlotte said, what did those efforts come with, and how effective were those efforts? We know also a lot of men say, I tried to see my son, and then for one pushback, then it's done. Do you know what I'm saying? So my point is, definitely, from what 50 has sown, all I'm saying is that in this moment where Marquise is saying, I am ready to talk to you, Dad. You can give him one. I'm not saying give him all the chances in the world, because enough is enough, of course. But 50, come off of the socials. Go and talk to your son. You could be like, one time, I'm doing this one time. We can try it one time. And that's it. Nothing's wrong with that. But this thing where you can reach out to me, blah, blah, blah. I don't resonate with that.
I did hear him say though to Ebro, he said that I'll be cool to go out and eat with him, but he's paying.
Whatever the case is, just go. It's a joke. Everything's a joke.
It's just what I'm saying. Continuously trolling. Continue. You can't stop.
Anywho, we gotta move on to Aunties Know Best.
Are you ready?
1, 2, 3.
Oh wow.
Aunties
I
know
even
best.
forgot about this.
I forgot.
Aunties know best.
Serious.
Aunties know best.
I'd really like to get to a point where you stop it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, how many? What's this?
Well, no, we're
this
gonna-
is episode what?
130.
This is episode 130.
It's
Yeah,
our
I'd
thing
really
tune.
like to get to a point where
We're going to take on what Grace said, and we're going to record it in a studio, and it will be a insert.
Aaron,
I think before you do that, you need to
welcoming.
record a few other things.
Hello,
Or
Aaron.
maybe get other
Welcome to
people to
Aunties
record
Know
it.
Best.
Nah, maybe get other
Aaron,
people to
don't
record
go
it.
100%.
I
No.
was really like piping
No,
in there.
100%.
100%.
No,
You could though. You could hire. You could hire someone.
let
You
Aaron
could just
speak.
hire. You could hire someone to do what you're trying to do.
Yes. 100%.
Do you want us to do a drop for you? For
No,
your channel?
no.
No, he's good.
I'm good.
Like boys to men.
Oh wow!
See when it sounds nothing like the song.
Boys to
But
men.
Oh my god.
I think that sounded nice.
I did.
Yeah.
Didn't
of course you would. Of course you would.
Serious. You're really going on, aren't you?
Boys to men.
Can we move on, please?
Aaron, welcome. Aaron! See,
Oh my
that was a
God.
mistake. That was a mistake. Aaron, welcome. Seeing as we've really been into your business when you came on our live show at the Barbican, and if you guys don't know his business, you better watch that episode.
Big
So we don't
episode.
need to get into your business this time around,
Thankfully.
but we thought you could join us.
He's like, thank you.
We can go back to it if you're not
I'm
careful.
good. I'm good.
We wanted you just to join Aunties Know Best and share your best, and let's resolve some problems that have come by us and yourself.
Dilemmas.
Yeah,
Yes.
man. Sort
Love
it
a
out.
dilemma.
What have you got?
Oh,
Ooh, sounds spicy already.
Spicy.
you know what? Let me start off like, firstly, like, please continue to message in like dilemmas and stuff like that, because I'll try and respond to them, but I don't always get a chance. But when I come on platforms like this, it's always good to kind of connect with women as well. So, like,
Exactly.
but let me go with an
the
easy
best.
one to start with.
Right.
When is it best to reveal to a new dating partner that you have a very difficult co-parent?
From the jump. From the
Wow.
from the minute it's established that it's going to be more than just whatever it might have started out to be, whether it's just, you know,
Like
I
seeing
think
each other.
when it becomes serious and it's a thing where this can interrupt our flow in a way that will be disturbing to our development of our relationship, I think that's when you disclose it, and that could be day 1, day 3, 4 months, whenever. I think. Why is that funny?
I'm gonna.
Because I'm really thinking about it, and I feel like that's a bit of a deception to not disclose it early on. Because then if I'm invested, like we're seeing each other and I'm getting invested, and I don't know that you have this drama that I'm gonna have to deal with, I need to know that there is this drama there, so I can kind of decide, okay, I see something in you that I want to work with, and I can decide, or I can be like, I've been through this 5 times already. I absolutely do not want to go down this road again.
That's
And I
what
can
I'm-
pull away
I think
early.
that's exactly what I'm saying. The
No,
minute
but I don't
you
want to be
feel-
emotionally tied to, I like this person yet.
Yeah,
Like, I
that's
don't
what
want
I
to be
thought.
No,
there.
I
yours
thought
is
you was like,
delayed.
once
Hers
we're-
is instant.
Yeah.
And I think I more agree with Auntie Nana. Like, I think you have to disclose, like, almost straight away. If you're asking me about my situation, like, if I've got kids and stuff, I'm gonna
Yeah.
say, yeah, I've got kids. I've got a baby
baby dad's a
father.
dickhead.
He's a bit crazy. Do you know
but
what I
not those
mean?
words.
Okay.
Like, I think I would just
Okay.
drop it into conversation very early on.
Yeah.
So, like, they're aware there's a situation, because you just don't know. You might be on a date and then your baby father comes out.
Drives up.
Innit?
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then you got to explain in a moment. No, I've given you a heads up. I've been honest. You know, like, there's an
But
issue here.
I'm so conflicted because, like,
I don't know.
as you were all talking, I was thinking to myself, like, but on the one hand, yeah, you need to just drop it in there, like, lightly. But then on the other hand, that could stop your whole dating life. Like, imagine
Exactly,
every time you go on a
every
date, you
time.
got to be
Everybody
like,
crazy.
oh, hey, what now? Yeah, my baby father's a bit crazy. He might come for you, and I'm like, watch out. Well, you know, we can't eat
But I think it has to
there.
be-
You know.
Don't you
What's
think?
the levels of
Don't you
seriousness,
think
though?
if they're not interested, if you tell them and they're
But
not
that's
interested
why-
after that, then that's not supposed
No,
to
but
happen.
that's why I feel like maybe then you wait until you're invested in the relationship and you go down that route when you realise that it's going to be something serious, like you said. Because at that point, if you don't like me, at that point, you don't feel like the need to pursue, to continue, then you're not
And
the
I
right
think
one.
that- I think
But
the
day
fact
one,
is, I
I
think-
wanna
no,
know-
no,
I
but
wanna
think
know
also-
straight
but
away.
day one, like, I'm just
Yeah.
flipping it, yeah? Let's flip it. Day
Yeah.
one. I go on a date with a dude and he's like, yeah, my baby was mad. I'm not dating you again.
Yeah,
but that's exactly. But you want to filter them people out.
But sometimes mad could just be like, she's asking me.
That's what I was about to say.
Do you know what I mean? So it could be anything. And then I blocked my blessing with this great dude because he told me, she's a bit mad.
I was thinking more about that, and also the levels.
But that's exactly why I have to say straight away. So filter out those people. So if you're not the person, if you think it's a problem, we're not supposed to be together.
What I'm saying
because at some point, if my baby father is crazy, you're going to have to deal with him.
Yeah, no, but what
you know what I mean?
Like, listen to what I said. Like, you're flipping.
Yeah, I'm listening.
It's me. I go out with someone and they say to me, my baby mother's mad.
Yeah,
right? But she's not really mad.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but because he's told me she's mad, I don't date this dude.
Yes, exactly.
No,
I don't want that person.
That's never going to change because it's however you explain.
Not for me.
However,
I would do exactly what you would do, but I don't want that for me.
However you explain the person that's mad in your life is however it's going to be received.
Yeah.
So there's an element of people exaggerate, like my baby father, my baby mother's mad, and actually they're just a bit shouty or ratty to the point where they do nut stuff. So I think it's about the levels.
Yes. Do you know what? I had an ex.
I
had an ex. She's baby mother. Yeah, he did tell me she was crazy. She saw him one time and knocked out his front teeth.
Oh Lord.
Nothing.
I'm sorry.
I'm really
everyone's fine. Everyone's fine.
Well?
No, So he told me that she was a bit nuts, but I didn't really think. I thought what you thought. Do you know what I mean? Like, nuts. Yeah, you probably just done something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why does everyone think that though?
Because it's so common.
When a man says, you know what, my baby mum's mad.
Because
women are called crazy all the time. Women are called crazy all the time. For reasonable situations, we are called crazy.
Which is why even when like a female friend will start dating a guy who's got like baby mothers or baby mother, I'll always say, thank you. Yeah. I always say pause. Yeah. You don't know the woman. You don't know everything. So don't take his word for
gospel. That's interesting. Yeah. So is it different then? Have you found this as well? The other side? Because I think women would be like, okay, he's saying she's mad, but let me see. But if it's a man now and the baby mother is saying, my baby father is he can be a bit aggressive, he can be a bit mad and a bit switchy. You're taking more serious.
We are switching the levels of what that is. I think we're coming at it differently. Like with men, we're saying we're going to aggression, and when we're talking about baby mothers, we're thinking like, just difficult. So I think we have to measure what we're saying.
No, but I'm talking about when you hear it.
I know, but I think
what's the connotation that actually
usually
goes
from a woman
with a man though? From a man's point of view, if the woman is saying, my baby father is a little bit, maybe she just says, my baby father is a bit difficult. Would that be something where you would be like, I'm not entertaining difficult because I don't know where that goes?
I'd want to know more. I'd need context.
What the difficulties are.
Like, give me an example of something he's done that's difficult.
Exactly.
Oh, you know what? He says he's going to come to get our child and never does. Okay, like that can then, have you got other options of like childcare? Because my issue in relationships is if the woman is restricted because of that crazy or difficult baby father, that means if I'm with you, I'm restricted. Because now if I want us to go out and it's all dependent on how your baby dad is, that could mess up our plans, and I don't want to be restricted moving forward.
Okay.
So if I know, for example, he's difficult, but my mum steps in, or I've got my sisters or whatever, okay, he can be as difficult as he wants, we can work around it. But if he is fully the one you depend on, that messes me up. But I also think, as a man, I feel like you also ask that, what does he look like?
What does he? Where's his muscles start? Where do his muscles start? From his jawline or
just asking yourself, like, just see let me see what he looks like. Yeah, you want to know.
All right, what's the next dilemma, please? Because okay, Aaron, give us another dilemma.
This one's this one's a bit of a mouthful, so bear with me. Yeah. My child's dad decided to cancel on a weekend I had plans with my partner, who he did not know about. Yeah. Because of him cancelling, my child ended up meeting my new partner a lot sooner than expected.
Okay.
Yeah. If her dad was to find out, he'd make our life miserable. Do I tell my child to keep this from him?
No.
It's just going to come out.
No, you need to just tell the dads.
Everything's exposed now.
And you just have to,
Why is the dad going to get funny?
I guess that was
a man around my child.
No, I get it, because I feel like if you're but I get it, because if you're co-parenting, and I want to have a conversation with you before my child meets the person that you're dating.
I didn't even know you was dating.
Now the knowing that I'm dating, that's none of your business, really and truly, until it becomes to the point where I'm going to introduce my child to the person. Then I will say to you, by the way, I've started seeing someone. It's time that I'm thinking about maybe letting them meet our child. That's the conversation. If I'm dating, who I'm dating, when I'm dating, how I'm dating, it's got nothing to do with you as long as it's not affecting our child. Because technically the child wasn't even supposed to be around. So,
but that's why, to me, it may seem like a straightforward one, yeah. But if you're that woman, do you potentially cancel your plans now because you don't want your child to meet your partner?
I think it depends on the person.
You just give her a call. You just call them. Say, sorry, you messed up, but this is what's happening. Sorry.
So if you as a woman, you know what, I don't want my child to meet anyone for a couple of months.
Yeah. I think
it's on me to make that decision. It's on me to make my decision. If I feel like it's too early, shit's changed, babe, I can't meet you this weekend, I've got my child, and hopefully my partner also understands that I'm not ready for my partner to meet the child either. So it's not like I'm just cancelling and they feel some type of way. If plans change, shit changes, and that's what it is. Unless it's like, well, I don't mind. It's on the mind.
That's not. I think the dilemma actually isn't. You don't then be like, okay, I've got my child now, but I have plans with this guy, so I'm bringing it all forward. No, I think the dilemma is I've got to now tell this guy I'm seeing, I can't see you this weekend because I have my child.
And it's whether or not your partner knows.
Or you find somebody else to look after the child.
Or
if you're happy for it to happen.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
What should have happened is she should have told the baby father. But if it got to but if it's already done and dusted and the child has now, which is my understanding, the child has now already met her new partner. She can't be expecting her child to lie. To tell to lie. That's just going to create a whole next drama. What she has to do is put on her big girl pants and tell her baby father, FYI, this is what happened.
Because you let me down.
Not even start with the because then that's coming already with some
some attitude. Like you're anteing up a little bit.
But also it's true. But sometimes don't come with the attitude, and it just be like, here, what now?
No. But also, what's this relationship? Why doesn't your child's dad understand that you're dating?
Because
she hasn't told him.
No, my point is, it shouldn't be a surprise. It shouldn't be a thing where I've got a partner. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't be a surprise. No, not that you have to disclose that, okay, I've met someone and it's day 3 and it's day 4. It doesn't necessarily have, it shouldn't be that.
Depends on the dynamics of the relationship.
Exactly, but that's why I want to understand that.
Also, if the guy is dating and she doesn't know, do you know what I mean?
I think it depends on the dynamics of the relationship, and it depends on how she is in her new relationship as well. If she's ready to have it out there.
All that.
If she's not ready to have it out there like that, then why am I telling you? And then when I date someone else next week, you're going to be looking at me sideways.
No, I don't think it's fair that she would just introduce the child to who she's dating because she was let down by the baby father.
We agree.
But also, now that it's taken place, that's actually not okay. Like, to then go to the father now and be like, so that weekend that you didn't have her, I had a date planned and then she had to meet the guy. If they have that already stipulated, that before our child meets the whoever we're seeing, give me a heads up. True. I'll do that. That's not okay that it took place. It would be right to kick off afterwards and be like, why have you done that?
I mean, if that's what's there between them, it's facts.
I got another one. I think this one's a bit deep though.
Okay.
I'm wording it differently. So,
why editing's defend the man?
No.
But I want to know what you think though.
Yeah. What do you think about the last one?
What you just said. Did you just? Okay, go on.
What about the last one?
Yeah.
What was everyone's like? What was the final decision?
I think the woman's out of order.
We're not going to be consensus.
The woman's out of order.
Yeah.
For introducing.
You weren't listening.
Like, I was looking at this one and I was just hearing everyone. I personally think it's not the woman's fault. Yeah, and I think when we start the whole dating thing, we should only be at that process if the other co-parent, if the ties are completely gone. I think sometimes we start dating, but there's still this attachment to that person, or one person wants it to work and the other doesn't. So now that person is dating and this person's still trying to make things work. There has to be a clear kind of differentiation. We're not together. We're not going to get back together. I don't want you thinking we ever are. I'm actually going to start dating soon.
So they know.
And when we don't do that, when we don't have that kind of conversation, I feel like people are scared to have conversations.
100%.
I don't want to get back with you. I'm not gonna come back to you.
Yeah.
Whatever happens now, happens now. You're free to go off and do what you want. Exactly. I'm free to do the same. then a few months later, he can't be surprised that, oh, you're now dating.
Why are you surprised?
I agree.
Let's go.
That makes sense.
With this one, it was my child's father has got his baby mum pregnant.
Oh,
He cheated on me and got his baby mum pregnant.
Wait. My child's dad has got
cheated
his
on me
baby
and got his
mother.
baby
So
mum.
it's
Previous
like he
one
had
or-
a child. Okay, I know this situation a few times.
So me and you
people.
are together, right?
Of course.
Yeah. But before we get together, I've had a child.
Yeah.
With Farrah.
I then cheat on you with Farrah.
Yeah.
And get her pregnant and get her pregnant
This
again.
happens
all the time.
Yeah.
This happens all the time.
So is that what you're going to say to me?
Is that what you're doing? No, I'm just saying this happens all the time. Like,
I actually have a friend who's had this happen a few times.
I was doing real world reactions, guys.
Yeah, go on. What else is there?
Farrah? So you fucked my man and you're pregnant?
Not friends, idiot. You.
I'm just,
They're not
But that person was basically saying they don't know how to deal with this.
They're not friends.
They don't know how to deal with this situation because she
situation.
can't be around him. Yeah, but their child.
So has
the problem here?
the new baby mother with the latest kid, has he left her for the old one that he's got
No,
pregnant?
he stepped out.
What?
Got her pregnant.
So he's
Right,
still
but
with.
he still wants to be
he's
with-
still
still
her.
wants to be with.
Yeah.
So I still want to be with you.
Well, obviously.
This happens so much. It's ridiculous
It's always,
how much this happens.
You went back to old timer.
Yeah, and but
For
now
one
she's
off.
pregnant.
For one off.
So I might have gone to. I went round to check my child.
Fell.
I slipped and fell and had sex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
And then
And
just
now,
one
You see
time.
baby fathers, yeah.
Baby fathers, yeah.
and you've only found
we're gonna
out.
become
You've
best
only
friends.
found out
Yeah.
because she's pregnant.
Exactly.
You've only
So
found out
that's the
because
only
she's
reason
pregnant.
why you know
Right,
that
sorry,
took
go on,
place.
sorry.
Oh, so that could have been going on for ages.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you've only found out because I now have to tell you because she's pregnant.
That's
Pregnant.
giving birth.
Yeah.
But you're trying to say you want to stay with me and I should
Yeah,
keep you.
that was a mistake.
What do I do because we've
That's
got a
more
kid?
than a mistake.
Like,
Okay.
You've all got
Why
kids.
you live
together?
You've all got kids.
Why
So-
you put an earnest face on?
This is from the second baby mother. The second baby
the
mother.
one that's been cheated on.
Yeah, the one that's been cheated on is now like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, it's
This
over.
is so hard.
It's over. Everything's gone.
Everything's got right.
Everything's gone.
Let's unpack it.
So
Let's lean in and unpack.
I'm
Lean
gonna
in.
go based on experiences of
Yeah.
people that I know
Yeah.
in these situations. And fuck, there's a lot of them. And I'm
Yeah.
talking about it, you
Okay.
know? Like I'm going back like 40 odd years. There's a lot of them.
Yeah,
Or
it's
people
not-
returning back to that.
Yeah, the back and
Scenario.
forth
Yeah,
thing.
the back and forth thing. Jeez, I have to exhale. Okay, so
I mean,
hopefully, oh man, it's mad.
okay.
Long story short,
Yeah.
the main thing to bear in mind here is the children. Okay, I don't think that she should be with her baby father because he's disrespected her on so many levels, and the problem is the trust has gone and the trust has gone in such a major way because he's having a child. Yeah? It could have been with anybody, but he's having a child with his baby mother, and I suppose that'll be worse as well because it's like you're going there, and I've never questioned you about it because you've always been like me and her.
Might
not
have
together
even questioned.
but you know, like
Might have even
might have.
seen the
and
vibe.
done it anyway.
But she's accepted that he has to have a relationship with the baby mother,
Yeah.
and probably accepted when he says he's doing certain things with the baby mother because she has his child, right? The trust has now gone. It's going to be very difficult to regain that trust. What has happened in certain situations that I am familiar with, the second baby mother will have another child to try and maintain that unit.
Balance it.
To balance it. I know that.
I've seen that.
I've seen that far too many times.
That's exactly it. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's a never-ending
It's a
cycle. I
never-ending-
have a
and
friend.
that's
children.
They're three
And then-
kids each.
Yes,
deep,
and-
back and
Absolutely.
forth.
And then what happens is when those children get older now,
Exactly.
at that point, their whole understanding of what a relationship is and how it should be
very
is
ancestral.
not ancestral. It's just
But yeah.
like it's clouded, and their respect of women and men is clouded because of the situations that's happened. And my point is, it's not healthy to have your children grow up in that kind of environment.
Well, it's a back and forth and back and forth.
It's a back and forth and back
It's
and
too.
forth.
It just breeds insecurity.
It really
on
does.
everybody involved in this. It's like how can you trust it? Because he has to go to those houses, both sides.
Yeah.
He has to go to both houses. It's like, unless we agree to be sister wives, I would pull myself out of this with my one child and just hopefully just one.
Are you going to the other women?
On the other scale of it, what? On the other scale of it, I know women that have. They, not necessarily. I know. Okay, so I know one set of women that they found this out and they've accepted each other and they've been like, fuck you to the man, innit? And they've accepted each other and they've become best friends and they've raised their children side by side. And
no one was with the man.
And no one was with the man.
That's
right?
an option.
Yeah, I know.
And then I know another set of people.
best friends.
That's an option.
Oh, option.
That's an option.
Then I know another set of people, like I said, and they've both stayed with the man and they've both been like this. I'm going to have a kid. No, not sister wives. Like,
no,
it's just you're competing.
Families.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's not been healthy. And then what's happened is eventually, as they've got older and their children have got older, at that stage, that's when they're like, bun the man.
So
like Peter Guns.
But what I'm saying is, the woman, that woman knew that you was together.
So who you talking?
The first baby mother.
Yeah, the first baby mother.
Knew that we were together.
Yeah,
and I've gone round to see. So like,
so now
are we not addressing the woman even?
Yeah, okay, but hold on.
I haven't said much at all. She's now a mortal enemy. Seriously, personally, me and her, we could never be friends.
But your children are siblings.
Yeah, that's cool. They can be siblings, but me and her, we cannot be friends at all because you knowingly stepped into my unit after your unit was done and then you made a baby, knowing what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? So bun you the guy, bun you as a friend.
Absolutely.
And I get that, but I get that because they don't have to be friends.
They don't have to be friends.
And I know situations that the parents, the mothers aren't friends, but their siblings are close as hell.
Yeah.
So they don't have to be friends. In terms of what she's done, the first baby mother, I do think it's difficult. I do understand the difficulty.
Because she may still have feelings.
Right or wrong?
No, I'm not saying it's not. I never said right or wrong.
No, because when she was in the relationship, before there was any turmoil, before her and the man broke up, this is the first time. If anyone came into a relationship, it would be a problem. Now she's knowingly doing the same thing. You're even worse. You're even worse.
But she may love him.
You're actually.
I want my man back.
So what?
That's the
What's
thing.
love got to do with it?
Remember what you said? Do you remember what you said about when you start a relationship with someone? Make sure that the slate is clean.
It's got to
be.
You said that.
I feel like a lot of relationships, when people move on, the slate's not clean. When you meet guys or girls who are co-parenting, the slate's not always clean.
Exactly.
And
it's very easy to go back in.
A lot of times, if a man's got a baby mother, we're like, nah. When did you break up with them? 100%.
And the age of the baby as well.
Yeah, how old are your kids?
And what are the boundaries?
Those are the questions.
Yeah.
Because depending on how long ago these experiences were, will determine whether or not you want to go.
But also, if your man's going round to his baby mum's house after 8 o'clock, surely there's...
Doesn't matter the time.
No, but to me...
Doesn't matter the time. Doesn't matter.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's certain things you've got to be comfortable with. Like, for me, if I get with a woman and her and her baby father do a lot of stuff together, and he's round there a lot of the time, like, I openly admit I'd find that quite uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So therefore, that's not an environment I want to go into. So therefore, I can see that dynamic early on. That's not for me. Good luck to both of you. But if you go into an environment knowing where you lot are a bit,
like, close friends,
innit? And then something happens, and also it's the honesty.
So you're blaming the woman that got cheated on?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying normally what happens, from what I see anyway, is the man knows the woman still wants me.
Yeah.
But he won't tell his girl that.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it's the other way around sometimes.
Right.
The girl knows the man wants to be with me.
Yeah.
But you make it out like, no, like, we'd never get back together. And
we're just cool. We're just friends.
Cool. And then something like that
Everyone's
happens.
hedging their bets. They can't trust.
And it's what you said as well about time that you spend with each other, because there are people that are co-parent and they do things like go on holiday, and I always like, how many rooms have you got? Where are you sleeping?
So what's the consensus?
That ain't happening. There's no consensus.
There doesn't have to be. I feel
I think she should come and say. I think people don't necessarily really admit what's in their face. That's another thing. People play the game, and then next minute when it's blown up, they're like, "Oh, I didn't know." Everyone's angry, and it's all fallout.
But
the
she should just
to that woman.
She should cut it.
To that woman, yeah. Do you know what I mean? She's allowed to feel what she's feeling. Do you know what I mean? She's allowed to be angry and feel betrayed by all the parties around her.
Yeah.
She's allowed to. She needs to work through that.
You know, one thing I see though, with a lot of women, is that their whole life is with that man. Like, the house. They
Right.
share the house. Financially, that man is supporting her.
Yeah.
Everything. Now this man has done her wrong. But if she cuts ties, she's screwed.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know what to do because I'm actually trapped.
Yeah, it's
that's really real.
It's really tough. You have to know who you are. Like you have to. There's a process. Kind of like, I feel like sometimes when women get into relationships, even just in general, they lose themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They just give everything because there's so much pressure that you have to. You know that this is the golden prize, and then you have to maintain it for the rest of your life, and then everything is tunneled towards that, and they lose their independence. They lose who they are. They can't even go out by themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's just about knowing that even if you're in a relationship, even if you have kids, who are you? Who are you? Like, what do you do? Like, what hobbies do you have? What is your life outside of your family
and sometimes
and your children?
What can happen as well sometimes is that a lot of people, when they break up with their baby father or the baby mother, whatever, they don't want to tell the people around them that they're broken up as well.
Right.
So they present as together.
Yes.
You know, do you know what I mean? Like they know they're not together, but they present as together.
Even for the kids.
That's exactly it. They present as together.
Keep it going for longer than necessary.
Absolutely. But sometimes when you present as together and you're doing whatever you're doing on the side or behind, like, because you're presenting together, that becomes tangled. And that's how sometimes
it keeps on going.
Going.
All right. I've got a big one.
All right.
This lady sent this in to our inbox.
Okay.
And she says, "Hey ladies, can I ask a question and get some auntie advice, auntie and uncle advice? Because I'm very confused and lost at the moment. I'm expecting my baby in 3 weeks. The dad has said he'll be there the whole time, although he's only been to one scan. And every time I update him, I feel like I bother him. He walked away from me when I was 6 months pregnant. Then I found out he started to see somebody a month later. I don't know how serious they are, but he's really hurt me. And I want him in our baby's life as much as he can be. I want to know how serious he is with her, ... I don't feel like I can talk to him about more serious issues such as childcare and maintenance. Also, I don't know whose surname to give her. People are saying should be mine so he won't cause issues. But genuinely, I don't think he will. However, it's something else to talk to him about. Sad face. How do I broach these subjects without getting a cold response and actually getting a hood answer? So the 3 points that she needs advice on, just to recap, is she wants to know how serious he is with the person that he's seeing. Should the baby have the father's surname? And how does she approach discussing involvement and child maintenance?
Over to you.
Some of them things you don't need to worry about now because you're pregnant, right? So you just want as little stress as possible to get you through till that baby comes. For me, I say this to men all the time, like, even if you're not with the mother of your child during the pregnancy, don't be getting with anyone else. Like, just don't, like, it's a period of time, like this, a year or whatever. Just help that woman through the pregnancy with as little stress as possible. Like, you can wait, even if you're like, you know what, we're not together. All right, cool. But just, like, you don't want to bring stress into that environment.
Yeah.
And I just feel that when a woman's pregnant, there's emotions anyway, and you're making this woman now have to deal with all of this.
Yep.
Whether or not he's serious about the other person, I think is irrelevant. The fact is, he's shown you his colours here. Yeah. And I think sometimes we look for a definitive mark where it's like, oh, but if they're serious, then that tells me something. No, the fact that he's walked away from you, the fact that he's even seeing someone while you're pregnant, those are marks where you're like, that in itself should be enough to tell you about this man.
Yeah.
And what was the other thing? Surname.
So the surname. Because the surname is an issue. I keep on seeing that written about.
My eldest hasn't got my surname.
Right.
That vexed me because it was kind of like an agreement up until like, to me, the day before. Like,
in terms of registering the baby?
Yeah.
Wow.
Were you there? Sorry.
Yeah.
Your business. You were there when you registered?
So, So it was, from my understanding, I'm sure she has to tell it a bit differently. It was like 15 years ago, but like we'd spoke about it. It was going to be my surname. And then because we weren't really together at the time, she basically said she wasn't happy with that. And I didn't want to fight it. Like, I felt like there's not really much I can do here.
Yeah.
Like, if she's really against it, so we moved my surname as the middle name. It was never double barrel, so my surname became the middle name.
Okay.
And my youngest, he has my surname. So there's difficulties with that as well, because obviously one child has my surname, one child doesn't. If anything was to happen later down the line to me in terms of like belongings or whatever, like I guess Tyler would be in a better position because he has my surname. So there's a lot of things you need to think about, but I don't think there's anything wrong with the child having the woman's surname, especially if you're not, because I get it. Why Mari's mum didn't want to do it is because we're not together. So if she's planning on future children, yeah, one's called my surname, the next is called the next man's surname. At least if they're all her surname.
Okay.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Can does surname like prevent the woman going on like a holiday?
Yeah.
You got to take the birth certificate.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say to you. Like,
it's
for traveling and just little things like that. It's difficult. So my daughter's got a double barrel, because kind of like what your first son's mum was saying is like, it's just difficult. Like I feel like if I was to have more children, I don't want my daughter to feel isolated from the rest of the other children. Yeah. So it was important to me that there's a thread there, even if it's just half of the surname. It was important there's a thread there. And then also in terms of just traveling and stuff like that, like I've gone away with my brothers before, and my brothers don't have the same surname as me. We've got different dads, and they sat them somewhere else on the plane, and I was like the adult taking them away. And I remember I had to kick off at the airline because it's like, they're underage, you need to put them with me, and we had to go through a whole thing. So just little things like that I've always had in the back of my head. But with this woman and her situation, I feel like as long as you're not doing it it's you've got to think about your kids. And I know that's difficult to think about at this stage, because a lot of women do this thing of where it's to get back at the baby father that spite. They don't do, out of spite that they don't do it. So maybe she should think about doing a double barrel. In terms of his involvement, she has to ask him, because if he doesn't want to have any involvement, it's going to be things like his name's not on the birth certificate, because he has to be present in order for his name to be on the birth certificate. Yeah. Or you're going to have to go down the route of re-registering the baby at some stage, and then your kid's got 2 birth certificates. It's just a lot. So she's going to have a conversation with him, even if it's about that. But I definitely agree with you in the sense of she has to try and focus on the pregnancy, because when you feel, everything you feel comes through your body and is feeding into your child. Yeah. Everything you go through. There's children out there that are, going through emotional states and they didn't quite understand why, but it's because when their mum was pregnant, she went through something. Yeah. So it's just to bear in mind all of those sorts of things. I feel very sorry for her. It's a horrible situation to be in, being pregnant and not feeling certain about yourself. But definitely, as far as the first, how he feels about the new woman, he's shown you his cards. Yeah. It doesn't matter. He's walked away from you. If he can walk away from you when you're pregnant, that's not someone that you really want to be with anyway. He's shown you how serious he is about you, and that's what you've got to do. Try and just focus on your baby and what you've got to do, and what will be, will be. Do
you think she should wait until after the baby is delivered before she has those real conversations 100%. With him?
I do.
I think she needs to understand. I think she needs to kind of like understand what she wants, so she can think about it from her perspective. Like maybe, from her point of view, maybe if it's her worst case scenario that he's not involved, what would the future look like? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And kind of like mentally kind of get her head around that. Yeah. But her main focus is to have the child. Do you know what I mean? And then kind of deal with things afterwards, because you just don't want to create an unstable environment. You don't want to create like any of that, like while she's still pregnant at least. Do you know what I mean? And just set herself up so she's not in a position where she is reliant, because if depending on how serious he is, although I don't think she needs to worry about that now, really, then that might mean he might not be there, or he'll be not consistent or something like that. So she needs to, get into the mindset of setting herself up so she's okay no matter what.
And then if he is involved, then that's a bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. No, I was going to say, it's a shame that she's in that position where she feels like she can't talk. And I know many women that are in that position where they're scared to ask things that they have natural right to ask questions about, and they're silenced because they're scared of the man's reaction, and then that dictates their whole movement and everything, and it can be so consuming. And when you're pregnant, you definitely don't want to be thinking about those things and worrying about those things. But the fact that she's really concerned on what his response will be shows that the relationship is imbalanced. She feels like she's got no power. Yeah, she's got to be in power and in the position and right mind and soul to raise a child. And again, it doesn't matter who he's with, what he's doing. Have your child, don't be scared to have this conversation with him. I think that's one thing women really need to get into their heads. Don't be scared to voice your opinions, because we really do kind of navigate ourselves around the man and like, oh no, if I say this, I'm going to be needy. If I say this, I'm going to be seen as a nag. It's your right as a mother of the child that's being born, that he impregnated you. He's got responsibilities too. Don't be scared to ask him the things. You don't have to badger him. Ask him once, ask him twice, and then you're done. Get on with it. And as has been said, prepare for the fact that you might not be in your child's life, but don't bend yourself to his will either.
And I think, from my experience, we've just got to stop being handcuffed to people because we've had a child together.
Yeah.
I feel like I see that so often. Like, you know what? Like, oh, we got a child together. He's disrespecting you. Yeah, but we've got a child together. He's cheated on you. Yeah, but we've got a child
Exactly.
together. You're constantly allowing the child to almost be
The pawn.
Yeah.
Like say for example,
really.
you've got a flat tire.
Yeah.
Right? And like air's coming out of it. Yeah, you need to change the tire. But instead, every petrol station you go to, you just put more air in it. That's what we've got a child together does. Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm putting air in the tire. Okay, a bit further, air starts coming out. Until you accept this tire needs changing, this relationship needs changing, it's not working. Yeah, you're just going to keep repeating cycles.
That's true.
Let's find out what's made everybody sad, mad and glad this week. Uncle Aaron.
Oh my
Aaron.
God.
At this point,
Do you know
she's
when I
trolling.
read- No, I'm not. I literally
that makes me mad.
Yeah, sorry.
So when people
That
get my
literally
name
was
wrong,
not nervous. I'm
that
sorry.
makes me
sorry.
mad.
Uncle Aaron, what's made you sad, mad and glad this week?
Well, that makes me mad this week. And that is actually kind of done as the one that makes me mad.
Okay, sorry.
I'm glad, honestly, connecting with you women. Like being here. Off the first meeting, I loved the energy, loved what you was doing. And it's just good to see you progressing. So
Oh, bless you.
yeah. Sad. Men on my page.
There's a big sign.
Men on my page taking, I feel like it's like the Kanye West interview, yeah? Like, so there could be, sometimes we watch a hour interview
I know what you're going to say.
and take a minute of it and say, but look at what's happened here. If I put a 90-second video clip up, someone will take one word and jump on that. Men do it a lot. Like the other day I said, watching Amari. Yeah, if it's my weekend to watch you, yeah. Watching your son. What do you mean watching your son? Why would you be watching your son? All of that starts coming at me. It's like we've missed the whole.
What?
You shouldn't say to a child that it's your weekend to watch them. It makes it sound like you're babysitting.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Do you see what I'm saying? Perfectly good conversation with Amari.
Yeah.
Like, he understands it. There's a great message in it, but because I've used the word watch, so
The
many
whole
people
thing
jumped on that.
distracted. Yeah.
So things like that get me sad.
Aunty AK, what makes me sad, mad and glad? Well, this week I've been sad that my flat has been cold and I've had to have a conversation about putting on my heating. I think it's going to be a running theme that makes me sad. Why can't I just put on my heating and not think about it? It's making me sad. I'm mad at the stupidity of UK politics. They're all stupid and it's dumb, and I hate that we're caught up in the shit show and the Emperor's New Clothes life that we live. And I'm very, very glad BET's Hip Hop Awards Old School Hip Hop Medley was the bomb, and DJ Cassidy's Hip Hop Pass the Mic was fantastic. Just had me in my old school hip hop element, and they're both brilliant. They're on YouTube. Watch them.
Method Man,
yeah,
stole
man.
the shoulder.
Yeah. And then on the back of that, took me down the rabbit hole of watching the Locks versus Dipset versus again.
Again.
Might be my 12th time.
Oh my God.
Gee, I swear it's
Love.
more than 12.
love that versus the Locks, the Kings. It's just brilliant. I watched it and I felt inspired and energized again. And I'm also extremely glad that James Corden's getting backlash. Anytime that man gets backlash, I don't like him. I don't even like talking about him.
Why is he getting backlash?
Because apparently he was rude to a restaurant.
Because he showed his colours.
Yeah, exactly.
He showed what he's really
Exactly.
like.
He showed-
And that is what he's really
Really like.
He's not a nice man.
What
He
actually
he
Quickly.
was in a restaurant and he was just rude to a staff member, and the owner of the restaurant, like I said, he's banned. Then the owner did then come back and say no, it's okay, it's all squashed under the water. But no matter what, people were using that moment to talk about why they don't like James Corden. I don't. I've had one interaction with him when I worked at the BBC at an event. Didn't like him, and I've never liked him since.
Okay.
That's made me very glad that people are backlashing on him and just talking about his nonsense.
Yeah, he's rude.
Aunty FARRAH, what's made you sad, mad and glad?
What has made me sad is the constant rainy, horrible, disgusting, damp, grey, horrible weather. I don't like the fact that when I wake up in the morning at 6 o'clock, it is pitch black. And it remains pitch black until like nearly 8 o'clock. And I just don't get it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. What has made me mad is the state of the... I don't like it.
I love that.
She don't like it.
I don't like it. No, right? What's made me mad is the state of UK politics and the fact that people are actually thinking that Boris might be better to come back. Like, bun Boris, bun the Tories, bun it all to hell. Bun them, bun them, bun them, bun them, bun them, bun them. Bun them. What has made me glad is the fact that Aaron's on the show. It's really, really nice to have you on the show. Always coming with words of wisdom and banter as well, which is great. And I'm also obviously glad that I am ending one chapter again this week and starting a new one. I can't wait.
Yay. Auntie NANA, what's made you sad, man?
I'm sad that it's probably going to be Rishi Sunak that's going to be Prime Minister, because I'd actually really prefer that it was Boris Johnson, but let's see what happens. I'm mad because the shop landlord, he's being an arse at the moment with us staying longer. But you know when somebody's being an arsehole, but you actually like them?
Oh, wow.
It's that conflict. Like, I actually like him as a person, but he's being an arse. And it makes me vexed that I can't get properly mad at him because I like him. I don't like that part of my personality. It's really annoying.
I was going to say that is definitely a trait. That's like one in three.
Yeah. I sometimes can't get there to be vexed, but yeah, so that's a bit annoying. And I'm super glad my mum's home after 3 weeks in hospital. I just wanted to say a big thank you to everybody, because the last time we was in the studio I got a bit upset, but yeah, thank you so much. And my favourite person on earth, T Smith, for always leaving lovely messages. Like, I had tears in my eyes as I was reading your message. And obviously I will be your big or little sister, however old you are, but yes, we're family. And I need you to send me a picture, because my friends were like, I wrote that message myself, because they're such bitches.
So trolling you.
They were like, you wrote this, so please, T Smith, can you just send a picture in so that I can show them that actually there are some people that like me.
They're like, you ain't got no fans.
Little bitches. And also happy birthday to my second son, Akaija. He's 9.
Yay.
Beautiful boy.
Happy
He's
birthday,
such a
man.
lovely soul. So,
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Auntie SADE, what's made you sad, mad and glad?
So as I said at the top of the show, I'm sad because I'm literally pretending to be awake right now. I'm so tired. It's unbelievable. I haven't been this tired in years. Like, seriously, are you?
I yawned because I literally was tired. I think I'm subconsciously
but
reflecting your pain.
But yeah, so I don't know. Like, I don't know when this happened that I wasn't able to do, you know, the like 20-hour days.
Hours in like 25 days in a row.
We're older now.
I know, and it's actually starting to show. It's really annoying, which means I just need to get back in the gym and stuff and like build up my stamina and stuff and be able to handle it. But I don't have time for that at the moment, which also makes me mad because I don't have time for like general things at the moment. So that was just really annoying, like navigating all of that. But I'm glad because, as I said, my company Pepper, we've done a few events this year, like Black Tech Fest, or this month I should say, Black Tech Fest, which happened earlier in the month, which was an amazing success. The client said that we were outstanding.
So brilliant.
You know, I was so happy. And then just the other day, I don't know when this is gonna air, but just the other day we done TikTok's Black History Month event as well, which went really, really well. And we've got 2 more this month and then 2 more November so far, and then we should be done for the year. We'll see. But yeah, it's going well, but it's just really hard work. But I'm glad that it's going well.
That's good. Nice. That's good. More work.
Thank you. And obviously Aaron's here as well.
Yes. No, it's great that you're back with us, man.
I think, Uncle Aaron, what's either pissed you off, is on your hit list, or you just want to have
a recommendation.
Or a recommendation, just something that's on your head that you want to get off.
A recommendation? Oh, you know what? Like, positivity. I went to see a play at the National Theatre called Blues for an Alabama Sky.
I heard about that.
Oh, so I said that again, what is it?
Blues for an Alabama Sky. Amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I had to go back and watch it again.
Oh, wow.
I've never done that before in my life, but I took my mum about 3 weeks ago and I thought this is amazing. So I went back yesterday.
With a date.
So I think it's
Auntie NANA getting in your business again.
That was too quick.
So you're actually seeing someone after
it wasn't a date.
and having a child with FARRAH. Okay, Aaron. Hey, everyone. Yeah.
No, it wasn't a date. I went with a friend.
Okay.
What kind of friend?
Friends with what benefits?
Oh my lord.
The benefit of theatre.
But no, it's only running for another 2 weeks.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
So if you
Yeah.
get, there's still tickets
Okay.
available. If you get the chance, trust me, go to
National Theatre.
National Theatre. You won't be disappointed.
I think we've got a review on the British Blacklist. I must check, but yeah.
I feel like I've seen it.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I want to go and see that actually. I'm going to try. Definitely.
Nice.
Do you want to do Spotify playlist? Have we got
Okay,
time?
should we got a minute to run through?
Yeah, just 2 minutes.
Okay.
What's
Well,
last
the
thing?
Spotify playlist today, the theme is songs that make you feel warm or make you think of summer, because summer has definitely left the building.
Was that the theme?
Oh, it was like free for all.
Yeah.
I'm sure on the
No.
notes it said free for all.
Is that the other one?
This one is.
Fine.
Please, man, you lot
Well,
are confusing
I'm
us.
gonna add Stormzy made me do it anyway, because it's a big tune and it just reminds me of all the Black British excellence that is happening, and yeah, make you feel good. So yeah, you can think of summer if you like.
Rough Riders Anthem from DMX and Fresh Prince, obviously Summertime.
Oh, I love that tune. Shall I go? So mine is Milton Wright, Keep It Up. Brass Tooth, Celebrate Life. And Moloko, The Time Is Now. That always
no,
makes me feel
Moloko.
warm. You know, Milton Wright is ooh, baby, now keep it up, keep it up. It's an old
Every
school
time
tune.
you bring these tunes, I'm like, I just don't know who you are.
I don't know.
I know the tune,
Yeah.
but it's like, it just doesn't fit with you.
Really?
Why?
Yeah.
But I'm a Gemini.
What's
got
that
nothing
got to
to
do
do
with
with it.
anything?
We're all a bit of a
No,
mix.
it's not that. It's not that. It's not that. It's not your Gemini star sign.
It is just that.
Yeah, I love Milton
Star
Wright.
signs
though.
aren't
I love that
real.
track.
They
It's
are.
just, they are. They are, but that's not what it is. Auntie Farrah, do you have any tunes?
Not really, because I didn't know that was a theme, but I will say that when
What's
I
it?
listen to Jay Huss, Buff Daddy,
Yeah.
That reminds you of
reminds
summer.
me of summer. I don't know
Yeah.
why. It's just
Yeah.
like summer song.
You know what?
Yeah,
You
it is.
mentioned Summertime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool and the Gang, Summer Madness. Is
Okay.
where,
Oh,
is
I
where they
love that
sampled that from.
Yeah, yeah.
Original.
That is amazing.
We pin love that track.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the gang.
I'm gonna write that down Saturday.
I don't know.
Auntie Nana, you're so not the person I think you are
What?
when it comes to music.
Oh,
We'll
really?
talk about it after. Okay, that is Your Aunties Could Never. Thank you so much for your
Nah, it's
time,
been
Uncle
amazing.
Aaron. It's been
Nah, this has
amazing.
enjoyable.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Your Aunties Could Never. We're on all the listening platforms. We're on all the social media platforms. We have a Patreon, which I did not mention at the top of the show. We have a Patreon, guys. There are 3 tiers. Go.
£5, £10, and £25.
Pick your sweetness and get more auntie enjoyment and knowledge and love.
Please follow us on TikTok as well. We're trying to build our TikTok account. It's really fun. Loads of people interact, so follow us on TikTok as well.
That's me TikToking.
TikTok, 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 TikTok.
Okay,
We're
cool,
rapping.
thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye now. Bye now.
I like the
Bye.
claps.
No, you can't clap for yourself.
You can't clap for yourself. You've done very well. Clap. Amazing. Pictures, let's go.
Oh, we got to do picture, yeah.
And also Aaron doing
Oh,
Drop.
film,
You've got to
yeah.
pick us up and just say, Your Auntie's going to have the best podcast ever. Even better than mine.
Do I have to?
Yeah. Even better than
That
mine.
wasn't in the
Make sure you
contract.
add even better than mine.
That wasn't in the contract. Sheila never sent me that. That was never
AK
sent.
Sugar out here.
AK Sugar. Oh, like Sugar Knight. Okay. I got it.
In the end.